Understanding permanent establishment, pay, for non-resident persons in the UAE. In the realm of taxation, the concept of a permanent establishment, pay, plays a central role in determining whether a foreign business or juridical person, i.e., a legal entity such as a corporation, has established sufficient economic presence in a country to warrant the taxation of its profits in that jurisdiction. This principle is applied universally by tax regimes around the world, ensuring that only businesses with a significant presence are subject to direct taxation on their earnings. The establishment of a pay is critical for determining whether a non-resident person, i.e., a business entity not incorporated or domiciled in the UAE, is liable for tax in a foreign country, such as the UAE. Generally, a country has the right to impose tax obligations on the profits of a foreign business only if that business has a permanent establishment within the country. A permanent establishment is not simply defined by physical presence but includes various operational and functional characteristics that demonstrate that the foreign entity is sufficiently integrated into the local economy. In the context of the UAE's tax system, a non-resident person may have a permanent establishment within the country if specific criteria are met. These criteria help establish whether a foreign business has a substantial enough presence in the UAE to justify the taxation of its income derived from business activities conducted in the country. 1. Conducting business through a fixed or permanent place in the UAE. One of the primary ways in which a non-resident person can establish a permanent establishment in the UAE is by conducting business through a fixed or permanent place of business in the country. This can include various types of physical locations where the business carries out its operations, such as offices. A company may set up a physical office within the UAE, providing a consistent and ongoing location where business activities are carried out. This office space could be leased or owned by the foreign entity. Factories. Manufacturing operations or production facilities located within the UAE can qualify as a permanent establishment. If the company operates a factory in the UAE where goods are produced or services are rendered, it may establish a pay. Construction sites or building projects. A temporary construction project or building site that lasts for more than 6 months is also recognized as a permanent establishment. In these cases, the foreign business is conducting operations that are sufficiently substantial to require taxation on the profits generated from those activities within the UAE. If any of these fixed locations are used to conduct the business, whether wholly or partly, for an extended period, the foreign company is considered to have a permanent establishment in the UAE, and it will be liable for taxes on the income attributable to these operations. 2. Exercising authority to conduct business on behalf of the non-resident person. Another way in which a non-resident person can establish a permanent establishment in the UAE is through the presence of a dependent agent or another person who habitually exercises authority to conduct business activities in the country on behalf of the foreign entity. The key point here is that this agent or representative regularly performs business activities on behalf of the foreign company, such as concluding contracts or engaging in negotiations. Examples of this scenario include sales representatives. A foreign company that sends out sales representatives to the UAE who regularly negotiate and conclude contracts on behalf of the company could be deemed to have a permanent establishment in the UAE. This is true even if the contracts do not require material modification by the non-resident entity after the agreements are made. Contract Negotiation Authority. If a foreign business has personnel who are regularly based in the UAE and have the authority to negotiate and finalize business contracts, this too can create a permanent establishment. For example, a company that sends senior executives to the UAE who negotiate terms and agree to contracts with local partners may trigger a pay status for tax purposes. The determination of whether the activities of these individuals or agents result in a permanent establishment depends on the level of authority they have and the regularity of their activities within the UAE. If these representatives are considered to have the power to conclude contracts in the name of the foreign company, this creates a significant connection to the UAE's tax jurisdiction. 3. Legal and economic implications of having a permanent establishment. Once a permanent establishment is established, the foreign company is required to pay corporate tax on the profits earned from the business conducted through that pay. This includes income from sales, contracts, and any other business activity directly connected to the UAE-based operations. The business is also required to comply with tax filing and reporting requirements under the UAE's tax laws. The profits attributable to the pay in the UAE will be taxed according to the relevant tax rates and laws, as outlined by the UAE Corporate Tax Law. However, it is important to note that merely having a fixed location or agent in the UAE does not automatically trigger taxation. The specific facts and activities conducted through the pay need to be analyzed to determine the extent of the company's tax obligations. For example, a company that operates a construction project in the UAE but only completes it within a short time frame may not meet the threshold for a pay, especially if the project does not last for more than 6 months.